everyone, welcome back to Rachwaddles, and this week we are going to talk all about the International Baccalaureate. I've honestly been dreading making this video because I have to relive my whole IB experience and it's a roller coaster ride. But I've always wanted to because I know that it will be helpful for anyone who has clicked on this video, which I believe and presume is going to take the IB or is currently doing the IB or is deciding whether or not to take the IB. So yes, I hope this video will be really helpful for you guys, whether that be a source of inspiration, motivation, help in your decision making, or even something that would change your view or perspective about IB, because I have a pretty positive view about the International Baccalaureate, which not many people do. So I do feel like some sort of outcast or outlier regarding this perception of IB, but hey, I'm just being myself and I'm just being honest with you guys. I did make an reacting to my IB results reaction video, and which I'll put the link down below. I got a 38 at that point, but the IB actually revised my mark because of all the fiasco of how everyone was getting really low marks during the pandemic, the May 2020 batch. And I did get my marks increased to freaking 41, which I was like, oh my god, what the heck? So yeah, I'm giving you a little context to this so I can, this will, promise you, this will link to another story for the debunking IB myths. So let's go. I'm going to be dividing this video into a few parts, and I'm going to put the timestamps down below so you guys can skip through to only see what you want to see, or you want to stick through the whole video. It's totally up to you, but I am putting the timestamps down below. I think most of the times people have this misconception of IB, which I will continue talking about in the next section of this video, which is debunking IB myths. But most of the times people would talk to people who are currently doing the IB, so they're currently facing a lot of pressure and a lot of stress. So obviously when asked, oh, how's IB, they always, like, you know, say like, oh my god, I'm so stressed out, I just want to die, kill myself. But in all honesty, once you've passed through all the like IB experience, and looking back right now, the IB has helped me so much in my current life right now that I can say that all the hardships and everything was worth it, and the whole experience was a 10 out of 10. IB experience in a nutshell is a pretty positive one, and I want this video to really remind you that, you know, you should look at IB in a positive lens in order to make the most out of it. Use IB to better your life and better yourself instead of letting IB use you, ruin you, and conquer you and let you be so stressed out. Because love yourself enough to not let a freaking curriculum ruin your entire life. So yes. First IB myth is, it is so difficult, I am always stressed out. This almost felt true for me, but it really is in your hands of whether you want to let it stress you out every day or not. It is obviously difficult, there is no denying. It is meant to be difficult so that you can grow emotionally and academically as a student, and you shouldn't pass out that opportunity you get as a freaking student. It can get stressful, especially when you want to first start IB in your 11th grade. Oh god, those times. It may actually take a lot of time to adapt because you have to go through a new way of learning, a new way of writing your answers, a new way of thinking, a new way of accepting different perspectives, and so much more that it will take time to adapt. But this is why it's like a 2-year curriculum, you know? You spend the first year like really adapting and really solidly learning what the IB is and how the IB works. So you're never really ready for IB, you just have to plunge in, you know what I mean? But I promise you, it will get better once you get the hang of it, and it will get better once you get to 12th grade, at least for me. And you will get stressed out, but you really have to be intentional about balancing your time during the IB, and that is the most important thing I can tell you to do. Learn how to balance your time. Don't let the stress consume you. Learn to balance your time, which I will elaborate on in this second myth. So the second myth is IB means no social life. Oh my god. I was about to fall true to this myth of the IB. It was about to come to life for me.
Okay, while editing this video, I realized that I didn't really debunk the myth. but I just kind of shared my experience and a precaution for you guys. And that too, like I didn't include the full story. I did still hang out with my friends, and I spent a lot of my free time in school hanging out with my friends, having fun, making memories. My IB doesn't cancel your social life. It really is in your hands, and I was still having fun and stuff like that. It was just like I had a hard time balancing my time and being present in the moment with my friends. IB doesn't cancel your social life, and this myth is too exaggerated and too much. So don't be scared, because it really is in your hands. You can always make time for everything. The statement that I don't have time is actually pretty false. You can always make time for what you want to make time for. It's just a matter of fact of what you prioritize. So always keep that in mind through your IB journey.
Personally have a lot of pressure from myself and from my family to do really well in school, to get into a really good university. Even when I was hanging out with my friends, I would always talk about school, and I would always be thinking about school, that I wouldn't be in the present moment, you know, hanging out and having fun with them and stuff like that. And I didn't realize that it would affect my friends too. Like my best friend got so sick of me that I would always talk about school. It also stressed her out because, you know, she's also doing IB and she's also going to face uni application. So it was just like me being really self-centered, and it was a kind of like momentarily like turning point. I think that was 11th, the end of 11th grade. So I'm really glad I stepped out of that really dark place. So this myth can actually come true if you don't learn how to balance your time. Myth 3, the IB will make your life easier in college. Oh my god, this is so true. At least for me, this is so true, because at least in my experience, my first year of college was basically like doing a ton of internal assessments and studying for the exams, for my mock exams for IB, really helped me develop a strong work ethic and time management, good study strategies and everything, and it really helped me study for my like written exams in uni as well. And in uni, my like exam questions were very similar format to those of that in IB. The way I was taught to write answers in IB really helped me in college, because it's the same but just on a difficulty level that's like way higher, or like some sort of higher level. So it did really help me, and if this is what you're looking for, you should definitely go for IB, and you should definitely look at it in this positive lens, so you will feel the like push to like, you know, keep working hard and like, hey, this is useful for me and this is good for me. Okay, so enough of debunking IB myths. Let's go on to the gritty practical stuff of IB, aka choosing IB subjects. If you do not know, in the International Baccalaureate curriculum, you're supposed to choose 6 subjects across different categories, and you're supposed to choose 3 of which are higher level and 3 of which are standard level. The subjects I chose were higher level business management, higher level economics, and higher level English language and literature. And for the standard level, I picked standard level mathematics, standard level Mandarin B, and standard level environmental systems and societies. Choosing which ones to pick for HL and SL subjects can be really daunting, because it's such a new term, like, oh my god, higher level, that sounds really scary, what the heck. So I know it can be really daunting, but you shouldn't really be scared by it, because the only difference I've so far noticed is that there's more material added to the syllabus for HL compared to SL, and sometimes the question format and types may differ, and the marking also may differ slightly, and you should really check out which one you prefer doing for HL or SL. I wish I would have done that before I picked subjects, but nevertheless, I didn't regret. I love my subject combination. But the most important tip and thing that I learned from this experience is that pick a subject you're interested in or have the potential to be interested in, not necessarily only what you're good at. If you're good at a subject but you're not interested in it, I don't know if you should take it as a subject or not. At least that's advice from my own experience, but it may differ from you. So that advice came from this little experience, okay? Story time. I was okay with economics in 9th and 10th grade. I did take it in school. But when I went to 11th grade, I started feeling really badly and I started hating the subject because of how difficult it was when I first started, and because of how sucky the whole thing was, you know, getting like bad grades and stuff. And then my teacher, I think, noticed, and he said you shouldn't give up and that you should try and learn to take interest in the subject, because once you take interest in the subject and once you're interested, it will naturally motivate you to keep studying and keep going, and you'll naturally improve your efficiency in the subject. So he recommended me to buy this book. And no, it's not a textbook, it's not boring, it's actually really interesting. And it's really funny, it's really witty, and it's really relatable to your real life. So that book really, really helped me take interest and like love the economics as a subject. I didn't mention the book before, but it's called The Undercover Economist by Tim Harford. I didn't even complete the book and I'm already hooked on economics. You guys should check this book out if you're like me and hated economics. So I started to study because, okay, I know it's very useful for my life and it will help me. Ever since then, my grades just skyrocketed. So yes, take a subject you have the potential to be interested in, not necessarily just you're good at. Another tip is that don't rely on word of mouth too much. I mean, you can consider it, but do not let it be your only factor of decision making, because in my school, a lot of my seniors and a lot of people said that English HL is so daunting, like you wouldn't be able to do it, like it's super difficult, it's like a huge mountain you can't overcome, stuff like that. And the perception has always been like, oh, you know, it's so difficult, you can't even get a 6 or 7, like it's so difficult. But I just like, of course there was like hesitation, but I took the leap and I loved it. I really enjoyed my English HL class, and it was one of my favorite subjects in the IB, and I did fairly well in it, and I just really enjoyed it, and I learned so much about life because of freaking English. So yeah, just trust your gut and trust your interest. The next section of this video is the heavy part of IB, which is internal assessments, TOK, and extended essay. I'm gonna go one by one from IA to TOK to extended essay, and I'm going to share my experience as well as some tips I extracted from those experiences. So first of all, for internal assessments, oh my god, I cannot stress about how much freedom you get with IB. Like IB gives you so much freedom to fulfill your intellectual curiosities, and you should really make the most out of it at every opportunity you get, because if you are learning or doing something you're interested in, you'll have the natural motivation to be curious and keep on researching about it, and you'll actually enjoy doing it, and it will actually feed your curiosity. So as a human being, you'll actually enjoy doing it more, I guess. I don't study psychology, but yeah. Really, for internal assessments, pick out a topic, pick out an article to analyze, pick out anything that you're really interested in or actually curious about. And if you're not interested in anything, research more about anything until you find something you're interested in. Example of my own experience, just to give you an idea, is for my math IA. I decided to explore the relationship between the video durations in my YouTube watch history and in my recommended page. So basically, is YouTube recommending videos based on the duration of videos you watch? So for example, if you usually watch 5-minute videos, do they recommend also 5-minute videos typically? So I really wanted to discover that. I also included in my Math IA report that I have a YouTube channel, and this exploration will help me with my YouTube channel. And it was like a really interesting thing, and I think it's also interesting for the examiner to read, and you won't procrastinate as much because, you know, it's your thing. It's not a set task. Other example is, you know, for economics, it's a bit different because you need to choose different articles to analyze for your IAs. And I just tried to pick articles that most interested me, and the way I looked for it is basically I would just type, for example, I'm interested in automotive industry. So I would type automotive economics, and I'll just go to news and pick out the recent ones and that are relevant to the topics I'm learning in eco. So that's really how to go about it.
Really sorry, my camera battery exhausted, so I'm really sorry for this difference in quality, but my speaking flow is on the go, so I don't want to ruin it. Continuing on for internal assessments, I also have another tip, but this applies for all IA, TOK, and EE, so I will put it at the last part. But for TOK, you can literally research about anything you're interested in for the TOK essay. So for example, I was interested in Elon Musk, and I included quite a bit of Elon Musk in my TOK essay, his way of knowing and like areas of knowledge, stuff like that. Also included quite a bit of personal connection, my Chinese Indonesian culture. So I included the controversies of shark fin soup in my TOK presentation, and I also included like what I learned from my dad about like chi energy and the flow of life and the Tao philosophy. I included that in my TOK essay. So including bits of your personality and including personal connections shows that you're really engaging with the subject, with TOK, with IB, and I think examiners love to see that. The last part of this section is extended essay. I chose world studies, which is basically where you can combine different subjects you learn in IB. So I combined business management, environmental systems and societies, and economics because I was really interested in the relationships between these three subjects, like how businesses actually affect environmental sustainability and how they ruin it and how they cannot ruin it and stuff like that. I was really interested in that and I just thought of like doing that. But I know a lot of my friends, they picked EE subjects that had a reputation that it was easy to score, but I didn't really go down that path because like, to make the most out of my IB experience, I should do whatever I'm interested in and I want to know more about. But I ended up also getting good grades because I loved what I was doing and because I was interested. And when you're interested, you'll naturally, research, put your whole heart and soul into the work. For the EE, I know it's so hard to like meet deadlines and start earlier. For EE, I cannot stress on how important it is to start as early as possible because it took so long for me to brainstorm itself, like to brainstorm and solidify my research question and everything. It took so long, like I think it took months to do that, and I kept changing it. I also already wrote like 3 pages of the extended essay and I redid it and revamped the entire thing because I just felt like it wasn't right. So for this 4,000 essay, I recommend you to start as early as possible, whether that be only brainstorming or whatever. And another tip I have for you for the EE is to really plan your way out because you're gonna get stressed out because it's such a daunting and huge task. So I recommend you to plan everything. Like a table and there are dates, and for each date I would write a task. For example, finish up writing the research question, researching about blah 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 blah, and writing the introduction. So stuff like that. Break down your extended essay tasks and it will be so much easier for you, and set deadlines for those tasks. So it's like mini tasks that lead up to a bigger task, and that will make your life so much easier. Furthermore, for the EE, as you know, the extended essay requires so much research. I think in the first stages of your extended essay, you should just research about whatever you want. You should just collect whatever you find interesting and then collect it and put it and compile it into one Word document. And that whole Word document is all for research. I wish I would have done this sooner while I was doing my extended essay, because if I did this first, I wouldn't keep changing my research question. I would already know the topics that I will generally be basing this extended essay on and the research and the material, so I can form a good research question. Not really restrict your research based on a certain research question or a topic, but instead just compile everything in a Word document, whatever you find interesting, and then you can skim through everything and you can it will just flow from there. You got it. If you don't know, there's different components of the IB, right? There all plays a role in your marking and your grading. So there is the exam, there is the internal assessments, like I mentioned, there's TOK, there's extended essay, and there is another one, it's called CAS. I think it stands for creativity, action, and service. So you have to do activities that relate to creativity, action, and service. You can literally do anything for this, so you don't have to worry at all. You don't have to worry about CAS at all. It's like you should put it at the back of your head. It's fine. You can do anything for CAS. The only most difficult part of CAS is writing the reflections because it may take time. It may be daunting because oh my god, I have to fulfill so many CAS hours. But you can literally do anything for CAS. I know it may be more difficult because everything is online now, but but there's so much you can do online. You can create a YouTube channel. You can start a podcast. You can create an Instagram account about a cause you support. You can start selling something on Instagram or on Tokopedia or on Shopee, or you can even host an online virtual puppet show for children in the orphanages. The possibilities are endless. The last part of this video is a little Q&A session. Okay, so my Instagram is private, but I did ask my friends and peers. I don't have much questions, but I'll try to elaborate and focus on quality, not quantity. So, okay, the first question I got is, how shitty life was? Shitty. Was life shitty? Okay, To be fair, life was shitty back then because in my last 2 years of high school, not because of IB itself, but because of the amount of things I had to do. I had to juggle with coming of age experiences alongside of my teenager hormones that were not cooperating with me. So I was this little emotional, dramatic little bee that didn't know how to manage her emotions. So I think instead of blaming IB, I'm gonna say that it's an accumulation of coming of age experiences and all a part of growing up. Don't blame IB, guys. Don't blame IB. IB is very beneficial. It really helped me in my college life today, and I don't think I would be getting decent marks in college if it wasn't for IB, honestly speaking. Next question is, would you recommend Maths HLAI or Maths SLAA for commerce students? It's a bit difficult. I have to research. It's not the same for my batch because my batch we only had SL and HL and Math Studies. Math Studies is the easiest. Standard level is moderate. HL is the highest, obviously. It did some very light research, and I don't know if this will be helpful because I know nothing about AA or AI. Here it says that math analysis and approaches, which is Math AA. Who's it for? And SL is for students who are moderate at math and intend to study economics or sciences after high school. And for Math AI, which is application and interpretation higher level, it is for students who are strong at math but do not intend to study math-based subjects after high school. So I think it's like actually don't know. I actually don't know. I should stop talking. But I will put the link to this website down below, and I think it'll be really helpful for you and for your decision making. But whatever thing you decide on for maths, I really suck at maths. So I was about to take math studies because I suck at math, but I decided to take math SL, standard level. Why? Because maybe I wanted to challenge myself. Be like, hey, I can actually do it. So I did it, and it was not bad. But thanks to tuition. Really helped me, and this tuition, oh my god, thank you. It's called Coimbra, and it's in Jakarta, and teachers are amazing, and I also got to study with my friends. And from someone who got failing in math, I kept on failing throughout my entire school history, and I never got an A or even a B in math. From that, in 12th grade, I got an A. I think I got an A, and I got a 6 in IB, so I can do it, you can do it too. And next question, useful tips. Oh my god, this is so useful. I learned this from my English teacher and I'm forever grateful for it. And I still do it until uni, until now, and it's really helpful. It is to read the rubrics and the criterias. It's so important. Really thoroughly read it. Even the lowest grade boundaries to the highest grade boundaries, you read it and you'll understand completely what the task is all about, and you'll understand what they want. You'll understand how you're going to be marked. You'll understand what you're supposed to do before starting a task, IA, TOK, EE, exam, anything. Read the freaking criterias and you will do good. And also read what each IB command term means. And there's so many websites that explain what each IB command term means, and this is really important because those command terms like explain, analyze, evaluate, justify will pop out in every subject that you're going to do as questions, and you will definitely know directly what they're asking for, and you'll answer the way they want you to answer if you know what the command term means. And this is really important to keep in your mind throughout the whole IB journey. So yes, those are my useful tips for you, and hopefully it will be useful and hopefully it will help you. This question, I really like this question. If you could go back in time, would you stick with IB or would you take A-levels instead? I have a clear-cut, direct answer right off my tongue. IB, dude. IB. I mean, okay, I just don't think I'm an A-level person because I prefer IAs, TOKs, EEs over exams, 100%. And I think A-levels only focus on exams, just writing exams, answering questions, and I'm not all about that. It's fine. Part of my life, fine. But if I could, research myself, write essays myself and stuff, I would definitely prefer that. And for A-levels, I can only, pick 3 subjects. And it only makes sense to pick 3 subjects. Why would you want to make your life more difficult? But I'm a more multi-interested person. I'm interested in a lot of things. So it's definitely IB for me, and I don't regret it at all. And more than difficulty, it really depends on your personal preference. So IB. But if you are better at test taking, writing answers, timed exams, whatever, then maybe A-levels for you the way that IB is for me. So yeah. Hehe. Answered all the questions. I've dig deep through and relived my IB experience for this video, and I hope it will help you. If you think it will help your other fellow IB friends, you can share this video, you know, copy the link and share it to them. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because in this channel I'm just really wanting to share different experiences in my life that I think will be beneficial and will have value to share, so people can learn from my experiences and people can learn and, you know, make the most out of their future experiences. So yeah, thank you for being here and bye.